some people are born with special abilities called quirks. We follow young Midoriya, a quirkless boy that was given the quirk One for All by his mentor and idol, All Might. Will Midoriya become the greatest hero ever? Maybe. Is Midoriya a crybaby? Definitely. Sup guys, Mist here, and today we're going to be reviewing My Hero Academia, chapter 298. Sup. So, this chapter was really good, I like this chapter. It's way better than last week's one. Honestly, this week's chapter was amazing. When I read this chapter, I was like, finally, this is some quality content. Last week, I didn't like that chapter at all. Flip, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. Straight up, I did not like that chapter. I mean, so much could have been done in that chapter, but hey, this week's chapter 298, it was really good, I like the fact that we're getting information about the heroes and the villains, and of course, we got a snippet of Twice and a snippet of Redestro's plan B, supposed plan B. So let's get into it. So the chapter starts off with Twice. We get to see Twice. We get to see how everything was before the whole war, before the whole Shigaraki, League of Villains, Revolution Army versus the heroes, which is cool. It was nice to see, And then from Twice, we moved straight into Redestro. Just Redestro having a whole panel. He's like, it's a good thing it had two separate faces. One for the Revolution Army and one for the company. Which is a smart move on his side, I think, because he is a businessman. What do you really expect from him? He's gonna have to have a backup plan. He's out here like, I had a backup plan. I kept my business face separate from my whole villain identity. And I think that's pretty smart, because even when he does like activate his quirk, you hardly see the guy's face. Like, you can't really tell that that's the owner of the hero support item company. What's it called again? Detentinant, whatever his company is called, really. So he's like out here. He gets the whole segment there. Just be like, hey guys, guess what? I had two faces, one for the Revolution Army and one for my business. I think that was a smart move. He's a businessman, so he has to do things like that. I think when the heroes are rounding up all the villains, it's gonna be hard to link the heroes support item company with the League of Villains. So that's smart. From Redestro, we got to see some prison breaks. Of course, we got to see some normals and some villain action there, and we finally got to see more prisons being broken out of, which is cool. Means that the villains are finally leveling the playing field. And from that, we just jumped straight into like a whole reunion type of thing. We got to see Toya, we got to see Toga, we got to see Spinner, and we got to see Shigaraki, of course. But all for one was in Shigaraki's body. What I really loved from that was that Spinner was like, "Hey, you're not the guy I chose to follow." And I was like, "Hey," Spinner notices this. He notices that at times it's Shigaraki and at times it's all for one. And I think this is a good thing. Like, my side, it's a really good thing, because like, hey, these guys can notice the difference, whether it's Shigaraki and whether it's All For One. So it's kind of does go back to the whole point of like, hey, Shigaraki, its body is just being used by All For One and no one really notices, but now there are some people that actually do notice, which is good. Then All For One, of course, replies. He's like, All For One's like, hey, don't worry, man. I'm gonna let Shigaraki's body rest for now. When he gets to 100%, we're gonna achieve our dreams. Our dreams. I'm like, our dreams are your dreams. I think we've all realized now that, hey, All For One's just pulling the strings here, and everyone's just a pawn to him. Everyone's just a puppet in this whole puppet show, and All For One's the puppeteer, puppet master, So, because I think these guys might leave these guys like Toya, or not Toya. Toya has a vendetta, so Flip, he's gonna stay. Toga and Spinner might leave the League of Villains because, hey, Shigaraki is not the one. Shigaraki is not the one leading it now. It's just All For One. So will they stay or will they not? That's my question with them. And then from the League of Villains, we go straight into the heroes. I loved the fact that we got to see the heroes and how they are. We got to see Bakugo alive as always and shouting. Flipping Bakugo, you know how he is. Damn Deku! Flip Bakugo. What else do you expect? Man wakes up, first thing he's shouting is like, he's shouting, dude. It's Bakugo. So what do you really expect? And from Bakugo, we went straight into Gran Torino, the main man, the mentor. Well, All Might's mentor's friend, and Deku's mentor, Gran Torino. Like, I loved Gran Torino, but it's sad to see him there with his injured leg. I think he might retire now, because he has played a huge role in the series. Let's be honest, he did play a huge role. He trained All Might, and he trained Deku, and he helped out during the whole Nomu's attacking the city, thing. So I think this is time for him to retire properly, because he was retired at first, and then he came out he came out for retirement to help Deku and to help the city, and now I think he should retire like completely, because I mean, the dude's injured now. Face is banded up, his body's in bandages. Flip, bro. Like, come on, And then from Gran Torino, we went straight into Aizawa Sensei. Sensei Aizawa, one of my favorite characters in the show. What I loved about this panel with Aizawa Sensei is that, firstly, we got to see President Mike looking normal. He looks cool. President Mike looks cool and he looks normal. I like seeing that. Unlike all the other times we see this guy with speakers on the side of his head, like, what the hell, bro? Come on. Like, speakers on the side of your head, come on. Finally got to see him, like, looking more calm, chill type of dude, which is cool. And I think, if you guys noticed, I don't know, this doctor here seemed kind of familiar. He looks like one of those. He looks like one of those characters from the Mario Kart. Forget his name, but yeah, he looks like a Mario character. Kind of does. This doctor here looks like a Mario character. Correct me if I'm wrong, but okay. We all see things differently. It's all about perspective. But yeah, Aizawa. It was so sad seeing him there with an injured leg. He looks more and more like Hobo Aaron now, or Aaron looks more and more like Aizawa. Whatever, really. But yeah, the guy has an injured leg now. His face is in bandages. We can already see one eye there. So what is he able to still use his quirk with the one eye, or will he also retire? I think he should retire. I mean, he's been around. When I first saw Aizawa, I'm like, hey, this guy is straight up. I thought he was the Batman of the show. I thought he was the vigilante of the show. But then you get to see this guy's like a wholesome guy, a chilled guy. He's not really kid loving, but he loves his glasses. So that was cool, and sad to see at the same time. As we're there at the bed. First, it was the normals in season 1, and now it's this. What's next? Is this guy gonna make it at the end of this show? It was nice seeing him. It just wasn't nice seeing him the way he is right now. Hopefully he'll recover. Hopefully he'll come back. He might retire. Might be in a wheelchair. Hopefully not in a wheelchair. I mean, it's Aizawa Sensei, so he's bound to bounce back. From Aizawa, we went to the trouble kid, Shoto Todoroki. We finally got to see Shoto reflect on himself, which is cool because he's like, hey, I could have been just like Dabby. Dabby and I, we wanted the same. We both hate my father, but hey, Dabby's crossed the line, and I think I need to avenge my dad. Not avenge. He's like, hey, I need to stop this kid. My brother, I need to stop this older brother of mine. Not necessarily a kid. I need to stop this older brother of mine because he's crossed the line. This man's been alive for so long. He's just been watching us, and he's fueled with hate. He's damn crazy. This kid's just crazy in his head. I need to stop him. My dad can't be the one to stop him. It has to be me. I love seeing that because it basically shows that there is a part of Shoto that loves his dad. I loved seeing Shoto self-reflect, and from Shoto we went straight to Deku. They're lying unconscious. To be honest, I wasn't really surprised seeing him unconscious because to me, I was like, hey, finally, the guy's unconscious. So this means that we might just take this opportunity to just, understand the story of One for All and All for One, understand the past holders, understand the new power they're going to get, and everything that's going to happen, in the next chapters, of course. I think this is like a stepping stone for a whole lot of more information to be dropped on us. So yeah, I think the chapter was really, really good. I loved the chapter. I liked it. It was way better than last week's chapter. I liked it a lot. It was different. It gave us more information than last week's chapter. We got to see a lot more characters this time, and I was glad to see my favorite characters were alive and well. I was really worried there for a moment. So yeah, I give this chapter a 3.5 out of 5. I can't wait for more chapters. I can't wait for more chapters to see what's gonna happen in the Hero Society. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen to Endeavor when he wakes up. Because we did get a glimpse of Endeavor. He's lying there unconscious. He might lie there for a while, or might just pretend that he's sleeping so he doesn't get interviewed and stuff. I really wonder what's gonna happen to Endeavor. Will he still be number 1 hero, or will the hero system be abolished? So yeah. I like the chapter, and if you like the chapter and you like this review, then give it a thumbs up, I guess. And if you don't like it, then dislike it. I mean, it is just my opinion on the chapter, and if you have anything to say, just obviously comment it. Like I always say, what you know about anime, boy?